Welcome to TG2M with KayeCee Austin, your #1 destination for personal and business relationship advice, tips, interviews, and more.
Hey geeks, I'm KayeCee Austin. Welcome to the TG2M conversation where the only tea we serve is positivity. Hey guys. Okay, so today real quick, I want to talk about today's message. So today's message is I am me, love is love. Okay, so today, as in the title that you guys saw, the little thumbnail, I'm going to dish some juicy details, and some of it is personal, based off of personal experience. Some of it is personal experiences, personal details about me, and then some of it is health and wellness related. You guys know I'm really passionate about that. So okay, and so I'll see you guys after the episode. So it's half podcast, half vlog as usual. All right, talk to you guys later. Bye. As you all know, as a social psychologist and a passenger and a driver in this journey we call life, my point of view is usually based in fact, science, and experience, as I stated. And one of the things that I noticed is there seems to be a trend over the last 30 plus years of making people feel bad for being private. We hear words like secret / double life, in the closet, and much of this obviously began in the media and celebrity with scandals, and it has trickled down to being a societal norm. A norm of trying to out others or find dirt on other people instead of just accepting them for who they are, flaws and all. No one's perfect. My stance has always been, as long as you're living your life and not hurting anyone else, I don't care if you're living a double, triple, quadruple, or even 20 scenario life. Just live and do the damn thing. I firmly believe that. And before we get into the meat of today's episode, I want to just say something regarding relationships. And this ties into living the life that you want to live. Okay. I get asked these questions. So much about the type of relationships that we have and people feeling a certain way or getting down on themselves, because their society has expectations of them and they can't fulfill that. So here are my thoughts, okay? So don't get down on yourself if you feel you can't seem to, 1, stay in a relationship, 2, don't want to be in a relationship, or 3, you find that you like being in too many of them at once or back to back. Just be you. Do you, babe, be yourself. As long as you're not hurting anyone else in the process, find self-awareness and figure out who you are. And I always tell people, not everybody is meant to date. Not everybody's meant to marry. Not everyone's meant to have kids. And not everyone's meant to not have those things. So therefore, figure out who you are. And not only figuring out who you are, but also letting those who are in your life know who you are. Don't be afraid to do that, because that's when things start to click. Things start to work. Because they're like, oh, Jason, yeah, we know Jason. Yeah, he's probably never going to get married or whatever. He likes whatever. And that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. Just be yourself and allow others to honor you in that. And you honor them as well. Okay, so I promised you guys a juicy episode in the title. So this is not clickbait. This is real shit. Okay, so as you know, I'm a private person. But recent celebrity events and movie themes that we've all seen, had me thinking. We've all heard the headlines where someone waits for someone to get popular and then decides to take them down with a scandal or secret. And even in our own private lives, we've all been through things where we thought we could trust someone and we found out that we couldn't, right? So, like I said, it got me thinking. I'm the kind of person, I love to live my life honestly, but as I talked about privacy earlier, we all deserve to have private lives. There's nothing wrong with being private, correct? But what I wanted to do today was kind of give you guys a little glimpse of who I am. If you haven't been exposed to me before, I bet you you may be like, oh wow, she's very cavalier with these topics. But it may be, number one, I'm a soldier first, so I I hung around dudes, I hung around chicks, it doesn't matter. I hung around people, and I also came from a big family. And I'm a human scientist. I'm a social psychologist. So like I said, I'm private, but when it comes to helping and when it comes to giving out information, that's what I'm all about. I have an HR company, and I human resources is in my blood. I did that a lot of my career. So human resources and giving people the resources that they need to do what it is that they need to do is what I'm all about. So let me start with some scientific facts, okay? And you guys know I will always come around to the topic. So let me start with some scientific facts. So human beings are actually programmed for monogamy for only 4 to 7 years. That's the sad truth. We weren't biologically programmed to stay with only one person, okay? So remember that. Here's another fact. From 13 to 17, the female body is genetically programmed to have intercourse. It's shocking, but it's true. It's disturbing to know this fact, but after 17, the female body will start developing an allergy to the blood proteins in a man's semen. This is what is known as a semen allergy. Okay? I share this with you because many of you have daughters and female family members. I didn't find out about my own personal semen allergy until later on in life, but the doctors traced it back to when I would consistently get sick after intercourse with my husband. The fact that I remained a virgin until marriage at age 24 was one factor. And number two is the fact that my spouse and I, we were both military, so we deployed a lot. So we hardly saw each other. And so therefore, no intercourse. I'm saying all this to say, oh, and the way around a semen allergy is actually to use protection, to use a condom during sex. Currently, I'm going to share this. Since my divorce, with the exception of one time, I practice celibacy. So this also heavily contributes to semen allergies as a whole. So let me share this with you, as promised. All right. So I'm just going to get to it. All right. So as some of you already know, in one of the episodes in season 2, episode 207. Called #My Thoughts On, I shared for the first time, I'd never shared it with anyone other than a psychologist when I was a psychiatrist and a psychologist when I was from 17 to 20 years old. I shared with you guys that at the age of 5, I was sexually harmed by a relative, and a female relative, and it's I'm totally healed. I'm fine. But anything that I share with you guys is because I know that there's others that are going through or have gone through the same thing or something similar. So. And like I said, it's just about sharing my truth. My truth may not be, and that's another thing, my truth may not be someone else's truth, but it's about sharing my truth. And if it helps one person, that's all that matters to me. But, everybody believes different things about the correlation between sexuality and being harmed as a child. And for me, all I know is that when I was younger, when I was 17, I became confused and I wasn't sure what, I just wasn't, I knew I believed in love what loves you. So I sought therapy, and this is where I was first exposed to a term called sapphic erotica. And What sapphic erotica is, it's content made for women featuring only women in intimate scenarios and not forceful wham bam thank you ma'am scenes as you see in in a lot of male female porn films. Not only did it teach me about my body, the female body in general, not only did it teach me about the female body in general, my body in particular, it taught me intimacy that I later was able to take into my marriage. It also motivated me to currently be a social psychologist and a human scientist. And I said all of that to say exactly what I said. But for me, I believe love who and what loves you. Don't judge other people, and if you want to judge, that's on you. That's between you and God at the end of your time for the judgment that you put onto other people. What I will say is there are scenarios where, like I said, I talked about in the beginning of this episode, I talked about how when people rise, people like to try to use things to harm other people. And I've spoken to so many young people who've been in scenarios where, someone said, oh, hey, you're a YouTuber, and, try to put them in a compromising situation to try to embarrass them. And to all of that, I say, just try to be, you can have your own privacy, but try to be you in the open as best as you can. Because when you do that, when you're authentic as best as you can, then people, they have nothing over you. And you know what? They can try. In the end, whatever's meant to be will be. So even if there are parts that you want to keep private and someone decides that they want to expose it, you know what? That says more about them than it does about you. Just be yourself. Love what loves you. Be you. And yeah. And watch what you want to watch. Do what you want to do. In fact, let me hit you with some facts regarding during this pandemic, how important sexuality was deemed. Okay, I'm turning some pages here. You guys know I always have my notes. Okay, so during the recent pandemic quarantine, many brick and mortar and online porn and erotica businesses were deemed essential and therefore stayed open. I video documented and spoke with physical shop owners. The rationale is that sexuality and sensuality are natural human needs. As a trained social psychologist, I totally understood this and agreed. These businesses stayed open along with auto care, tuning, marijuana dispensary, and it's funny because I always think oil changes, right? So although I don't partake in marijuana use as I'm allergic to 20 of the 500 compounds in cannabis, I certainly understand the medicinal and healing value that it contains. Now, regarding auto care, maintaining our bodies and our sexual health is basically like a car. There's no difference. And ensuring that you get an oil change every 3 months is just as important as ensuring that you keep your body in good shape. And that's in good sexual health, that's in good mental health, that's in good physical health. But yeah, I found it so intriguing and it made sense to me that the porn shops were open during this pandemic because they were deemed essential and very necessary. So I said all of this to say, as long as you are keeping yourself healthy, as long as you're keeping others healthy and you're informing them whenever you need to inform them for whatever you need to inform them about, you're being honest, be you, babe. Be yourself. You obviously can't be anyone else. Don't try. And that's all I can say, because I'm me. I'm myself. And in fact, I have this I've always said it, but I'm coining it now. I always say, I've lived an amazing life. I always say, I'm on bonus life. And there's nothing anyone can do that's going to make me feel bad about the life that I've lived and the life that I'm going to continue to live. I'm on bonus life. I'm loving life. And I want you guys to love life. All right, guys. So I hope you enjoyed the episode as much as I enjoyed dishing it out. I want you guys to know that everything that I share with you is is not only therapeutic and hopefully therapeutic for you guys and informational for you, it's also therapeutic and cathartic for me. So, all right, well, until next time, talk to you guys later. Bye.